Hey everyone, hopefully all's working. Let me know about the audio and stuff. But yeah, a little bit late. You cannot rush a coffee. That is the way it works. Not to mention I had some minor Wi-Fi trouble for a second there. Like it said, connection unstable. So I just wanted to rectify that was not going to be a problem before I started this. Otherwise, we'd have been in severe trouble, shall we say. So hello to the nerd shelves. You are actually earthy this time. Yes, definitely. Hello to Lillian, and obviously hello to everybody else who starts joining the stream. So thank you. Yep, this is another Q&A for May, and I'm going to now turn off this brand here or something because it's like, yeah, whatever, getting in the way. But I will stress that I have got a lot of questions to do from Patreons this time round. I mean, seriously, they went to town on like trying to get my thing. Actually, can I do that logo? Where can I do a logo? Nope, that logo's not working. There we go. That's a bit of a laugh there. All right, fine. But yeah, the Patreons have been like gone above and beyond and given me a lot of questions. So I will say that don't put questions in the live chat just yet. I will give you a heads up when I'm ready to start doing the live chat, because otherwise yours will be missed, and I don't want that to be a a problem for people. So normally, I mean, sometimes they give me 2 questions, sometimes they've given me no questions, sometimes they give me a lot. This time I've got 13 questions. The Patreons really went mad. Well, some of them did anyway. There was multiple questions for some of them. No, I have not forgotten the time zones. And in any case, I think that was more Boardroom Gamer's fault than it was mine, okay? I didn't forget my own time zone. Ish. Okay, maybe I got BST and GMT mixed up. Whatever. Time zones are stupid. I think now I'm just going to post a link to my YouTube uploaded, like, scheduled video and just tell the person who's coming on, look, just check that video, okay? It will tell you what time you need to come on. So we'll see on that. What do we got there? So Kid Robot 1983, hello to you, and hello to everybody else who starts joining in as well. Yeah, it is very Canadian chat so far. I mean, Kid Robot, Nerd Shelves, is Kyle Canadian? I don't know. Question, when do we ask questions? Yeah, I know, save the live chat. I know this cheesy little banner, but that's just for now. So save those for now. So before I get onto those, generally, pretty good day, actually. I'm a little exhausted, mainly because my mate forced me to get up early for the first time ever in the last month or so, because I've had a lot of late nights, but he forced me to get up early because my local game cafe was hosting a cull of a lot of their games. So basically what they did was they were trying to clear up their library and their retail in preparation for next week. So they basically held a massive like cull sale, and I'm talking massive. They got rid of a ton of games, not all of them great games, as we said, but there was quite a few big titles there. But they put the stupidest high discounts on you can imagine. I mean, they had like games for a $5, games for a $10, pay us what you want to pay, like library games that weren't getting played. And put it this way, you could get Newton, The Colonists, and Burano for a $10 each. You could get things like Crystal Clans for a $5. You could get like Custom Heroes for a $5. I mean, there were some games for a $5, like from their retail section, that just weren't selling. And at the end of the day, they need to clear the room, so they just put them on stupidly high prices. And I think 95% of their games cleared by the end of the day. No shock there. Although the ones that remained, has to be said, if you can't even sell the game for a $5, I think that says something about your game publishers. I'm sorry. But I did, however, get... Well, you're probably thinking, well, Luke, did you buy 20 games? As much as I was tempted to get some as investments, I thought, just because I can doesn't mean I should. I'll let other people have these games. I mean, if they want to get them and play them, that's better. I did pick up 2, though. I picked up a collector's edition of Patriots and Redcoats. That's an investment. I have no intention to keep that. I don't like Secret Hitler, but I'm sure somebody out there wants a collector's set of Patriots and Redcoats. So I got that for them. However, I did pick up this, Sunset Over Water. I only know about this game from Mike DeLisio talking about it in the Relaxing Games Top 10 on the Dice Tower. It's got a little bit of a box dent. It was a library copy, but apparently never got played. Because frankly, if I saw this game, I wouldn't know what to think of it. And I still don't know what to think of it. All I know is that it's essentially a relaxing game. Very relaxing. I mean, he put it as number 1 on his list. And it's got Beth Sobel's artwork in it. So it looks very pretty. I don't know if you can see from the Let's see if the camera will focus on it. Yeah, so it's got some very pretty artwork there. Interested to see what this one's like. But yeah, I think I traded my busted copy of Mandala Stones for this, because I said that after my review I was going to give it to my cafe because it box was damaged, and so they gave me this. So it's like, okay, cool. I'll see what it's like. Hopefully Mike DeLiso knows what he's talking about. We got some. Oh God, we got a massive Canadian chat now. So where's Carl from then? Carl, where are you from? Ontario. Wow, it really is a Canadian chat so far. That does seem to be, yeah, why? It's 6 p.m. BST. Yes, I got it right this time. There should be loads of people from the UK here. Where are they? And, you know, Europe, it's only 1 hour or two later. They should be fine. And the Americans, well, it should be afternoon for you. So, I don't know. Maybe I should have made the stream 8 o'clock in the evening. I don't know. Well, like I say, we're here now, so I'm sure we'll get more. Anyway, let's start off with these Patreon questions. So I got some notes, and I've got them all here on banners, so we're going to go with that. So, starting off. Oh yes, I better turn off the brand, because that's just getting in the way now. There we go. So like I say, save the live chat questions until later on. And hello to Jeffrey, hello to Ayet, and hello to a fatal paper cut, which I don't want to have. I don't want a fatal paper cut. That's not very nice. I don't want any paper cuts. But, right, so we go on. What are your expansion suggestions from for Dice City and Star Realms? Right, well, I'm not going to go into too much detail here, because otherwise we'll be here all day. But for Star Realms, I've only got a few expansions for that game. And to be honest, I think I've got too much, because it's not hitting the table as often as I would like. So with Star Realms, I would just recommend 2 expansions, really. First off, you got Colony Wars. So Colony Wars is literally just another box of Star Realms. It's essentially another starter set. Bolt them together, you can play up to 4 players if you're desperate, but mainly it will just give you a bunch of cards and it's nice and cheap. But I've bought everything up to, what do we got? Frontiers. I got in on that Kickstarter. It's given me a big box. It's given me a bunch more cards, and I can store everything. It's given me the opportunity to play it solo or co-op. And you know what? I'm good. Sorry. I don't really need any more than Frontiers, so I'm kind of good with that, really. Yes, you can get all these, like, Cosmic Gambit and Heroes and stuff like that, but honestly, I know there's one. I think it might be the Heroes set. I'm not sure, but basically it gave you starting deck ideas. No, it didn't. No, that's a different expansion. I can't remember which one it was, but it copied what Hero Realms did, where basically you could start off with sort of different decks from other players. That one was a pretty decent one, so that one I could recommend as well. But other than that, with Star Realms, I'm not the biggest expert. Dice City has had 3 expansions, and they're kind of meh. Actually, I don't know why Royal Decree is a 8. That should probably be a 7, really. Basically, there was 3 expansions. All that glitters is literally just more cards. Easy. Crossroads has cards that then activate columns rather than rows as well, which is pretty cool. I'd recommend that one first, really. And Dice City by Royal Decree has this trade board, which is quite cool, and a couple of other more complex cards. I personally think get Crossroads and All That Glitters first, then worry about Decree. The thing is, Dice City has not really had a lot of plays. I mean, it's on my shelf, and I do kind of like it, but it's been a long time since I got the got everything out. So that one is kind of just not hitting the table. Maybe that needs to hit the coal pile at some point. But yeah, that's kind of the order I would do. The only problem with Dice City is that they are not good value for money in terms of these expansions. So if you can get them on sale, great. Otherwise, I would be a little hesitant about paying too much money for them. Man, the chat is going to town with regards to everybody being from Canada. Although we do have a Surf here. Thank you. Hello, Surf. Yes, you are in the UK, and 4 hours is, well, 4 hours may not seem like long, but it's a mammoth to drive, so it is quite like that. And everyone's talking about all sorts of weird Canada stuff, which I don't understand. So what's Timmy's? I've kind of lost track of what that is. But all right, let's see what next question is. What's the first game planned when cafes open in the UK? Technically, this is not the first game. I'm going to the Southampton Board Game Cafe on the Monday because my Dice Portsmouth one doesn't open on Tuesday. I don't know what I'm playing on Monday. I'm just going to take a bag of games, probably stuff from that top 10 list I did with Gems and Biscuits, and I'll see what happens. That's probably what I'm going to do. However, I am going to be playing War of the Ring on Tuesday. That is planned. That is definitely planned with a friend of mine who is slightly familiar with the game. I need to spend half of tomorrow learning how to play this thing, but I've unboxed it. It's bagged up. I just need to learn the rules and prepare for Tuesday. Tuesday evening, that will be the day. That's the first planned game I've got in mind. So, yeah, War of the Ring, that's going to be a big one. Was that purchase worth it? We'll find out soon, I guess. All right. What do I do with cold... I didn't spell it right when I wrote the banner. All right. What do I do with cold board games? One of three things. Well, actually, yeah, one of three things. Either give it to family and friends, usually family, and that's if I think the family member is going to enjoy it. But that's not as often as that because I can only give them so many games. But I sometimes sell them secondhand market. I'll put them up. I will put the price stupidly cheap or something. You know, I hate it when people scalp on the secondhand market. I don't. That's not my style. But that just allows me to get some money in order to get more copies for reviews and stuff like that. So it just helps to fund the channel. It's like non-profit basically. Or what I do like to do, and it's raining a bit out there, is give it to the cafe. You know, I'll just donate into the cafe. Like the ones I reviewed the other day in that big compilation video, I'll probably sell off the Escape Tales ones because I've played them now. I'll probably sell off the Tawantin Suyu one, but the Rival Networks, a friend of mine has said that they are interested in it, so I'll just give it to them. And I've already given Mandala Stones to my cafe, Dice Portsmouth, so it's now in their library and people can go and play it. So that's essentially what I do with those. What do we have here? Oh, hello, what's this? I just got into the hobby this last year. My partner have been having a blast. Shout out to Luke for influencing me and getting excited about my fave YouTube channel. Ah, thanks, mate. Thank you very much. I seem to have quite a few Canadian fans here. Maybe I need to, well, maybe I need to visit Canada. Yeah, I suppose that's a given, but it's not exactly easy right now. What do we got here? I wish we had a board game cafe in Dundee. One of the few things I miss about Nottingham. Yeah, Nottingham's cafe was quite nice. I've not been to Dundee, but I'm guessing there's not much of a scene there. Tim, hello to you. Yes, people have mentioned about painting the bottles of minis. I don't have any paint. I don't have any skill. But maybe I can commission a friend of mine to help me out with that, depending on how as the first game goes. I do, however, have some stickers. I've got some like tiny little circle stickers of different colors. Would that suffice instead of painting the bases? I mean, because I'm certainly not going to paint the minis themselves. That ain't going to happen. Looking forward to your thoughts on Waterwing. Hello to you, Hoser. Yeah, I will do... I'm not going to do a full-on review because I can't physically play this game like 5-10 times before I review it. It's too big. But I will probably do a first impressions, and if I'm playing it on Tuesday, then I will make it next week's podcast. So I'll make it a segment on the podcast episode the following Sunday to talk about first impressions of War of the Ring. So that should be quite good. Anything there? Hello, Dilo. And hello, Mario Santos. Mario, I'm going to be doing questions after the Patreon section. So basically, once I've done these like 10, 13 questions in the Patreons, I'll then go onto live chat. So same goes for everybody else here. Just save those questions for later. All right, cool. So that was what do I do with cold board games? What conventions are you attending in 2021? Quite a few, actually. I've gone to town in trying to get these conventions back because I've missed them so much. It's like crazy. But what do I have in mind? Well, I definitely have the UK Games Expo, so that is a given. Yes, it's going to be a reduced thing. Fair enough. It's not going to be the same as the UK Games Expos of the past. I'll bet there won't be as many publishers there. Perhaps it will be very UK-centric rather than world publishers. It'll be a bit of a shame, but, you know, they've got decent COVID precautions there. And to be honest, I just want to go to a convention that's reasonably big. So, yeah, I'm going to, you know, the UK Games Expo. So that is a given. Accommodation's already sorted. I will be there in a semi-official capacity. I mean, they might not even be doing press kits, so I may literally just turn up with my Broken Meeple shirts, And that's about it, really. Maybe talk to a few publishers, but for the most part, just be there for some open gaming and some hangouts. So you want to grab a game with me, you can try. Like I say, small creators, you can grab games with small creators. It's a lot easier than doing it with big creators. Failing that, maybe I'll have some spare capacity to go out for some food or get some drinks in a bar or something. I'm up for a very social UK Games Expo this year. Like just to meet people, considering we've been away for ages. Where are we going now? Seriously? What? I was sitting and waiting for Luke to start the stream for 15 minutes, then realised my phone had frozen and missed the whole beginning. Oh, you and your audio issues when we started our stream before, that was hilarious. And now you've got this phone. So how much did you miss? I was late. Yeah, I was late by a couple of minutes or so, but not 15, I can tell you that. So have you literally just been talking in the comments for 15 minutes? Not realising that I have been talking. Oh, man, you crack me up sometimes. Where did we get? So another convention, Gridcon. Paul Grogan does a couple of conventions each year called Gridcon. It's in Columpton, around Southwest, and I've been every time. It's a very social convention, very nice. It's in my neck of the woods, close to Somerset and that. This one's in like Devon. And Gridcon 2 is in November. It's going to be a 5-day convention instead of a 3-day one this time. And I'm going for the whole 5 days, including some Southampton friends. So if you're going to that one, then by all means, check me out. I am definitely going to enjoy that one because it is always a good laugh. And Paul Grogan deserves a bit more support. Like I say, I'm all support small creators, but in terms of some of the larger subscriber count ones, Paul Grogan's one of those ones that I kind of feel needs a little bit more love than he gets at the moment. I feel like he gets overshadowed by some people, and it's a bit unfair because, let's face it, I wouldn't know how to play half of these Lacerda games if it wasn't for Paul Grogan. So, it's kind of that. I did wonder, actually, yeah, so, you were all talking about Canadian stuff and not reacting to what I was saying on stream, so I thought maybe some of you can't see me, it just seemed very convenient, or maybe you just thought I was so boring that it was not worth talking to me, which is understandable. Shake, Battle and Roll, it's a very bad name, I agree. They've changed the name because it apparently got disputed with something, and it's bringing up monster truck stuff. That's not what I want. Apparently it clashes with this now. What have we got? Shake, Battle and Roll, horrible name, but yeah, October in Southampton, I'll be going to this one, so this is just basically a weekend of gaming. No official capacity, no publishers, it's just go there and game. Nice and cheap, nice and local. I don't even have to get a hotel. I can literally just drive there in 30 minutes and I'm good, so that's a given. Question, convention called KCON. No, not the music festival of the US, that's wrong. Where's KCON? No, not... Okay, what is going on here? Come on, KCON, board games. There we go. Yes, so this is the first one, I think. Oh no, this will be after UK Games Expo. So Expo will probably be the first one I go to. But this is a very easy 3-day one. It's in Milton Keynes. KCON, there's a Facebook group for it. Never been to it before. They advertised it on the Facebook group, and I figured it was nice and cheap. I can travel there in about an hour and a bit and stay overnight for 3 nights. And you know what? I just fancy going there and playing some games. So KCON's another good one as well. What have we got then? Happy to see you excited about things again, Hugh. I know you were struggling a bit a while back. Yeah, I know COVID certainly did take its toll in terms of isolation and that. But I mean, as much as work is still getting me down because we're understaffed and all that lot, everything else is on the up. The channel has improved determination-wise and I think community-wise since I did that stream saying with the feedback. I think the changes are positive and people are reacting positively to them. Isolation is easing here. I mean, yes, people are still worried about the India variant going around, but I wonder how much of that is scaremongering. But, we've had gyms and massage things for ages. So, I've been able to get stress relief from going swimming and going to the gym. And as of Monday, as I say, we've got indoor socializing back, so I can finally go back to games cafes. I mean, I was there today helping out with their indoor retail sale, and I got to see some people I'd not seen for months in there. So the social life is so much better now that it is putting me on a bit of a high. I've also bought a new car. I suppose I'll go on to that really quick before the next question. Well, I'll get onto that in a second. But yep, your relationship with the community is why we love you. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me to know, because that is essentially how I'm trying to distinguish myself from every other board game reviewer out there. Actually get in touch with the community. I know that others are starting to do it now. I mean, you, the Nerd Shelves, do that really well with your live streams. Board Game Ramblings do it really well with their streams. So it's like, this is the kind of thing I want to see. But I mentioned getting a car. I'll turn this banner off now because I'm done with that question. But it's nothing major. I've driven a Suzuki Swift Sport for the last like 9 years, and it was a black Suzuki Swift Sport. Trying to see if I can find an image of the old version. Probably not. Probably can't find the old version, but I mean, similar to that. That was what I was driving before, and I'd driven it for 9 years, and I'd loved it. It was called Black Betty, named after the song, which always kept turning up on my playlist. Like most times I drove it by random, and the name just kind of stuck. And for 9 years, I've driven a Swift Sport. And I've driven Swift Sports before that, but they were different models, or like crashes had happened and they were written off. But this particular car I'd had for 9 years. By the end of this month, I will be switching to the 2021 like new Suzuki Swift Sport. I've already done the contracts for it. I'm just waiting for it to be delivered, and I'm going through my midlife crisis a little bit early. I'm 37. I'm starting 3 years early because I thought red is boring for a car, and so is grey and silver. Blue was tempting. Didn't necessarily fancy it this time around because I still think it's a bit common, and I didn't really want to repeat black. And white, well, black is good, but I've had it for 9 years, and as soon as you get one scratch on a black car, you see it forever. White, you can never keep clean. White is a nice colour for a car, but you can never keep the wretched things clean. So I thought I'd enter my midlife crisis, and I've ordered the yellow. Champion Yellow. So I've got this beauty coming by the end of the month. I've test driven it. It's got a little turbocharger. It's hybrid, but don't let that fool you. It is pretty dippy off the line. Can't wait. So yeah, that's going to be really cool as well. What have we got there? And yeah, enough of the politics. Let's get off that politics. And yeah, Black Betty was, it's the song by Ram Jam. Was whoa, Black Betty, Ram, Ram. I had it on the playlist because I had a driving songs album, and it just kept coming on. Like, no matter how many songs I had on that playlist, most journeys, it kept finding that Black Betty song, so it just kind of stuck. My boyfriend buys games based on your reviews. Is that a good thing? I don't know if that's a good thing. You'll have to tell me. What do we got there? Some people are still stuck in lockdowns, which is a shame. What have we got? Glad to see you making content. I have to pop off. Cheers for coming on for a bit, Tim. But yeah, more positive energy is going around. And yes, I'm in the midlife crisis. Anyway, back to those Patreon questions, because I know you're itching to hear more about your own questions. Would I play complex war games, coin games? I'll play most games once, because you never know, there might be a cool gem. But the thing is, I know nothing about counterinsurgents style history. GMT did these. They're like massive games, and frankly, I just don't have an interest in history for the most part. Least of all these. I mean, I don't even know half of these wars. China's War, 1937 and 1941. Okay, the French Algerian War. Was that a thing? Red Revolt, White Guard in Finland. What have we got there? The Gallic Revolt against Caesar, Fire in the Lake. I don't even know these wars. My history knowledge is non-existent. So if I play these games, what am I going to get out of them? They might be good mechanically, I guess, but for all that rules, for all those hours, if I can't get into these themes, I just don't see myself enjoying them. So, would I play them? Maybe, but it's not exactly like I'm hunting them down or anything, so it's not going to happen there. What do we got there? So, solo Kanban. Yes, hello, pop-up windows. Yeah, solo Kanban's a really good solo mode in there. And so I guess you've never bought a Stefan Feld game. Yeah, well, I did used to own one Stefan Feld game. I owned Amerigo for a while when I first got into gaming. This was before I knew what Stefan Feld was like. And to be fair, I enjoyed Amerigo for a bit. The cube tower, I liked the way that worked with how your actions were not always known before a round started. I thought it was quite cool, but yeah, it's dry as a bone. There's no theme whatsoever. That was probably my favourite Stefan Feld game. I sold it eventually, and I'd still play it now, but that's about it, really. I mean, I haven't certainly haven't bought any other Stefan Feld game, and most of the time I try not to play any Stefan Feld game, but I have played a fair few, trying to find the one Stefan Feld game that I might really enjoy. It just hasn't happened yet, so it's just not happening. What do we got there? I've never played a GMT game either, but man, Atlantic Chase is awesome. No idea. As I say, I have no idea what these coin games are like, but I would try. What have we got there? You're live streaming a Feld tonight. Carpe diem. I know you love Feld, and like I say, you can love Feld or you like. I mean, Board Game Ramblings like Feld games as well. You know, both Joe and Sunniva. And like I say, if you like Feld games, great. We all like different things. But Carpe diem. You're gonna do that on a live stream. What are you gonna do? Put like Instagram filters all over the camera or something to make it actually look pretty? I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but that should be fun. And hello to you, Jessica. Thanks for turning up. What's the next question? Why don't I play many two-player games? Do you not like them? No, I do love two-player games, and I do have some in the collection. Patchworks over there. I got Targi. Targi's really cool. I got Star Wars Rebellion over there, the big one. What other two-player ones have I got? Imhotep the Duel, Lost Cities, Kahuna. That's Grickler, Creatures Great and Big and Small. I do have some two-player games, but they don't get a lot of plays, and this is why I don't play many two-player any games, because, well, have you noticed I'm the only one here? So, how can I get two-player games to the table if I live alone? It's like, what am I supposed to do? I can't play two-player games. You know, I mean, I would like somebody to come round and play some two-player games with me, you know, I mean, particularly if your name begins with R and your surname ends with P. Yes, Ricky, I know you're in the chat. But nice to see you as well, mate. Ricky runs the Dice Portsmouth Cafe, and as I said earlier, I was helping them out. So, yeah, sold a lot of games, and I've still got your Sunset one here that I grabbed earlier, so it'll be interesting to see what that one's like. But yeah, that's all it is. I like two-player games. Two-player games are cool. I've got Star Realms, for example, but I live alone. Two-player games are just hard for me to get to the table, which is why I don't talk about them as much. But I did do a top 10 list on... whoever asked this one might have forgotten that I did a collaboration with Ryan and Bethany Games a while back. Have I still got it? Yeah, here we go. Top 10 two-player games with Ryan and Bethany board games. I did this one back in end of Feb. So you want to see what my favourite two-player games are, I suggest check out that video, because I do have some. It's just, as I say, my circumstances. Find me a girlfriend who likes games and I'll be sorted. And like I say, today, chatted to plenty enough partners who came in, like with like very nice ladies who all love board games. And I'm just like, where are these people? Why can't I find them on Tinder? I don't know. It's like, I can't seem to find them anywhere. But they got to get past this face first, and that's the hard bit. Not to mention, I don't want kids. That usually scares a few people off. What do you think makes a content creator appealing? I've done a video on this, actually. I did a... before I get onto this one, Andy, I'm doing questions for live chat after the Patreon one. So don't worry, I'll give everybody a heads up when I'm ready to do Patreon questions. Tinder is a dating app. Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, whatever. You name a dating site, Match.com, whatever American ones you've got. But yeah, I mean, I've got online dating is the only way I can meet anybody. What else am I supposed to do? What have I got? I know I did a content creator... What I look for in a content creator. I did a podcast episode where I talked about this. I'm trying to... Here we go. I did it back in the end of Feb. What I look for in a content creator, and it's after 25 minutes, it's got a timestamp there. Go check out that video podcast. I give all my reasons there, but off the top of my head, I can think that you need a lively personality. Like I say, if you talk like a robot, like a drone on camera, I'm going to get bored stiff watching you. Hence, I don't like it when people script too much, because you can't help but sound like a robot when you talk scripted. Let's see, if you've got multiple people, I want good chemistry. I mean, there are some duos that are getting all the trends now, and I'm like, I watch them and I go, yeah, but I'm just not getting that much from them. I don't feel like I'm getting the chemistry as much. But then compare it to something like Tom, Sam, and Z from the old top 10 list on the Dice Tower. You cannot get better chemistry than those three on top 10 lists. It's like ridiculous. You know, insane, crazy. Honesty You got to be honest, and I mean that includes negative reviews. If you don't like a game, you tell me that game sucks, and you tell me why you think it sucks. Don't be afraid to tick off a designer or a publisher. Look, they've got to put their big boy pants on, or big girl pants on, I guess, and actually realize that not everybody's going to like their game. So you've got to be able to speak negatively. I mean, I did that to what's it called? A Gentle Place? Was it a Gentle Place? I can't remember. That tiny little card game last March in March when I reviewed it. I gave it a negative review. I'm sorry, I didn't like the game. But I see so many people giving it like 9s out of 10s. And it's like, I'm sorry, what planet are you on where you think that is deserving of a 9 out of 10? And I'm going to tell you I don't like it. But I want to see this from other creators. It's why I don't watch playthrough channels. You know, the ones who just do nothing but playthroughs. Because I don't trust playthrough channels to give an honest review when they do a thing at the end of it. Because do you honestly think they're going to put a video all those hours into a playthrough when they've got the game for free and they know they're going to get more freebies and actually say the game sucked after they played it on channel? No, it's not going to happen. They're always going to say it was good or they enjoyed it. And it's like, no, I want honesty. You tell me the game sucks if you don't like it. And there's a few other reasons as well, but I suggest check out that video because I need to get through some of these questions and let the live chat have a go here. What is your favourite Spirit Island? I don't have the game on me at the moment because it's in the bag downstairs, but it was Sharp Fangs Behind the Leaves, which is a kind of like the Nothing out of Neverending Story. It's basically the big wolf tiger thing. It's basically you control all the beasts and get them to eat explorers. Sounds cool. Sounds good fun. The other one I'm kind of liking at the moment from Jagged Earth is Many Minds Movers 1. It's like a swarm of birds and beasts. Again, it generates fear and it uses the beast tokens. I think generating fear is my favorite thing to do in Spirit Island. Killing explorers is cool and doing control is nice, but I love fear generation. I want to scare these people off my island in any way possible, and it's like, look, my island can be a blighted mess by the end of it, but you guys are getting off my land, even if I have to scare the living daylights out of you. And those two spirits just do it for me. So they're currently my favorites so far, but like I say, I'm just really enjoying the game in general. And what have we got in terms of from the live chat here? As I said, I'll get onto questions later. Our mission is to find Luke a gaming friend. You can say girlfriend. Perfectly fine for you to say girlfriend, but yeah, trust me. My friends have been on missions for life to find me a gaming girlfriend. Well, actually, to find me a girlfriend, period. But, you know, I found my own, thanks. But honestly, I've had some ex-girlfriends, and to be honest, I've not had a single girlfriend that's into games. None of my ex-girlfriends have ever been into games. And one of them, the one that got away because of career, took her all the way back up to Scotland and that, didn't like games at all. But we did other things. I like hiking, I like, fitness stuff. We liked going to cinema and theatre. We liked eating, dining out. We just liked travelling. We did a lot of other stuff together. But the others didn't like games either. And I must admit, I just think that my life is just too focused around fitness, hiking, and board games and stuff. And I kind of need somebody who's at least appreciative of this hobby. They don't have to be an expert in it, but just kind of understand it's what I do and maybe be willing to try it out a bit. I think otherwise I'm going to have trouble, really. Trust me, finding a gaming girlfriend is harder than it looks in the UK. I know they're probably a dime a dozen in America and Canada, but they're rare here. What have we got? Definitely stepping up the game with a new haircut. I haven't had a haircut since April, to be honest. All I've done is just styled it back because I tried to experiment styling it forwards and I hate that. My mum likes me to style it forwards, but I'm sorry, I like it styled back. What have we got there? That's why I love your channel, the brutal honesty. Oh yeah, God blimey. That's what I do. And it ticks off a few people. That's where some of the thumbs down come from on some of my videos. It's like, how dare you talk honestly and say bad things about my game? How dare you thumbs down? It's like, deal with it. We like different things. And what I look for in a content creator, an aversion to spiders. It's an odd thing to look out for, but oh well, I'm your man for that. What have we got? Killing explorers is cool, quote of the day. Yeah, so if you take it out of context, that could be work. Just find a girl who you can convert to games. Is that what you did with your missus? I'm trying to think. It's like, was she? I suppose, yeah, you did have to convert her a little bit, although she's not massively into your games, is she? I'm trying to remember if Holly is, but oh well. Like I say, I don't mind if I have to convert them to games or they're gamers already, but I've just not found anybody who even converts to it. They just all hated them. It's impossible. Let's get on to another question. Actually, let's double check. My ex got into D&D after we broke up, and she tolerates games, which is enough for me. Yeah, I was going to say, tolerates games. That's the best I've managed, that they tolerate them. And it's I mentioned about 2-player games. I want someone to play these games with. You don't have to play games every night. I'm not saying that date night has to be board games all the time, but come on, they got to look forward to the opportunity. Righty, what have we got here? What do I think of this asymmetrical powers in games, and does that mean I have to teach more than one game? I love asymmetrical powers in games. Asymmetrical powers are fantastic. They're a great mechanic. It differentiates me from other players. But there's a limit. I like asymmetrical powers like Cosmic Encounter, Dale of Merchants, and a few others where you get a power and that's your ability for the whole game. That's cool. What I don't like is something like Root. Now, Root's a fine, okay game. I'm not a massive fan, but I don't think it's bad. It's just the problem I have with Root is that you play completely asymmetrical characters and powers, like totally different ways of playing the game. That's cool, except you then have to teach 4 different games to play the one game. And if one person doesn't know what they're doing, the whole thing is thrown out of balance. I get why some people like that, but I just don't have the circumstances where I'm going to play that game regularly with the same people all the time. Therefore, I don't want to have to teach that kind of game like Root or Vast the Crystal Caverns all the time. It would just be too much of a pain. So I like the powers temporarily, not the entire game is focused on it. What do I think of campaign or legacy games? Honestly, I'm starting to get a bit burnt out on it. Let me get a drink first. Right. I'm starting to get a little burned out with campaigns. True, I do like some story-driven campaigns I can play solo. I've still got Tainted Grail, still got Lord of the Rings, and I've even just had this delivered to me. Cool, blimey. What's this? Destinies? The new sort of hotness from Lucky Duck Games. I got to try this one out, so see if that's any good. Although 1 to 3 players, well, I can play it solo, but I don't know where I'm going to find a regular group to go through the campaign in this one, but we'll see. But yeah, that should be fun to try out. But the problem is that campaigns need a committed group, and it's hard to get a committed group, especially these days during COVID. And what exactly do you do if, I have to play them solo because I can't get the committed group, but it's like, oh great, so when I start this game I'm gonna have to finish it over weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's like I just want to go at my own pace now. But everything's got to have a campaign. Even Destiny's has got one. Destiny has 5 scenarios in the box. 1 is standalone, the other 4 are a campaign. Why can't they all be standalone? Why does it have to be a campaign? Everything is a campaign. I think it's just to sell everything on Kickstarter. Legacy is another thing, although I'm kind of glad that Legacy is kind of on the way out now. It used to be a craze, like everything had Legacy slapped onto it. But nowadays, I can't remember the last Legacy game that I've seen, really. Not for a while. So maybe the Legacy craze has finally ended. We shall see. But what was it? Pandemic Legacy 0 was probably the only one I've seen. My City, does that even really count? But no, Legacy doesn't seem to be around. Personally, though, couldn't care less. Oh yeah, King's Dilemma, that was another one. That was a good one. But yeah, honestly, Legacy does not make me enjoy your game. You know, I don't have anything against it, but slapping Legacy onto a game does not make me suddenly like it. It's like, it's a thing. I'm kind of indifferent with it, really. I'm glad that they're not like so mainstream as they were before. But yeah, campaign games, I just want to be able to pick up a cool game and play it. You know, Sentinels in the Multiverse gives me all the replay value I need. Spirit Island gives me all the replay value I need. None of them have campaigns. It's like I can just go, right, I want to play this adversary, I want to play this villain, these heroes, these spirits, and go. Game finished, end, move on, next game. I don't want to have to sort of go, right, we beat this villain. Right, tune in next week, come by next week, you know, we'll do the second one, and then where are we going to meet up for the third one? I suppose we're going to meet up for the 4th one next week. Oh, great, I know, no, you got kids, not going to meet. It just gets too much of a faff. What do we got? Root, yes, it is definitely such a barrier. I mean, Vast the Crystal Caverns was no different. Root definitely needs a core group. Root is the only Euro that I can convince my wargame buddies to play. Yeah, because it is technically like a bit of a wargame in itself. Legacy actually put me off a game as most as you could only play once. Yeah, that's another thing. I don't think I played Risk Legacy. That's one of the ones I skipped. And, hello, I've put on this super chat, but I don't actually know how it works. But thank you for the super sticker. What's 55 knock? How does that translate? I have no idea. I really should probably look into the super chat on this and make certain I know how it works. Campaign and legacy games have a limit because it's hard to play so many of them consecutively. You might have a regular group that works well for them, but you can only play so many each year. That's the other thing. I mean, you did all right with Detective and Clank Legacy, but I only had really one group I could meet up with semi-regularly. But even then, we're meeting up every fortnight at best. Sometimes days get cancelled. It took us over a year to get through King's Dilemma. You should be able to run through King's Dilemma in a month if you play it each week and get 2 or 3 games done in an evening. But it took us over a year. Granted, COVID happened. That didn't help. But still, a year to finish a game, that's not what I need. Alrighty, next up. How many questions have I got left before I can go on to the live chat? 4. Okay, got 4. So I'll give you a heads up when I'm saying spill the beans in the live chat. What is your stance on house rules? They're okay. Honestly, I don't come up with many of them unless it's a co-op. A co-op solo game, I might come up with house rules. And usually, with the exception of things like Carcassonne, where it's like draw a tile at the end of your turn, that, trust me, that's not actually a rule in the book. That is actually a house rule that's been universally accepted for years. But if I house rule anything, it's in co-op solo games like Tainted Grail, where I've house ruled the difficulty curve. And that's the thing. If the difficulty I think is too punishing, too grindy, I will house rule it. I had to do it with Ether Fields. I had to do it when even then I just can't be bothered to get that to the table again to try out that new, what was it called, Dream Mode. I'm like, oh, I've got to set up Ether Fields and all this and read the rulebook. I just can't be bothered. It had its chance. It failed. But like Lord of the Rings, I'll always put it on Adventurer mode, whatever it's called. But Tainted Grail, the grindiness with those menhirs, I've house ruled them because otherwise the game is such a grind fest. But once I did the house rule, game's really cool. So yeah, I'm okay for house rules in a solo game, but in a competitive multiplayer game, less keen unless we know in advance what it is. The best one I can think of off the top of my head is Le Havre. Le Havre has, in fact, let me show Le Havre because I just realized I've not really been showing a lot of actual examples of what on earth I'm talking about here. But let's go Le Havre. So this game here, cool game, cool Uri Rosenberg game. I refuse to play it without a certain house rule. And if the house rule is not in this game, I won't play this game, despite everything else being good in it. The loans in this game that you get for like getting into debt, there's a space here on the action part where, what was it? I don't know where it is, but basically at some point you've got to pay interest on your loans. And the official rule is 1 franc no matter how many loans you have. If you play with that rule, the game is fundamentally broken because I have seen and experienced games where people get as many loans as possible at the start, accelerate beyond belief, and by the time it gets to the end of the game, they've got so much money and income that it doesn't matter if they've got to pay off the loans, they still win. You've got to house rule it to say 1 franc per loan because A, that balances the game and actually makes debt something you should fear, and B, that's how debt works. It's like, what's this 1 franc of interest for no matter how many loans you got? What kind of bank does that? That's never going to happen. It's absolute manic. What do we got there? I just can't see myself playing the same game over and over again when there's so many great games out there to play. Agreed. That's how it should be. And I'm the kind of person who feels if I don't stick to the rules, I feel like I'm disrespectful to the game, but do it that it may be needed. I mean, it's not really being disrespectful to the game. I mean, like, I'm going to say, look, Tainted Grail. I like Tainted Grail. I think it's a really good, dark, gritty, thematic, like, story-driven game. But it's grindy as all get out. And I'm sorry, I will say that to the publishers. It's like, you've made a cool game here, but you made it grindy as hell. And Etherfield suffered as a result. I have now fixed your game, so I will enjoy it. Why would they care? At the end of the day, I still bought it and I'm still playing it, so they got their money. I don't think they'd be too worried. It should be fine otherwise. Next up. Why did you get into content creating on YouTube and how's the experience been? Well, to be honest, how's my experience been? I mean, you've heard me rag on about it every single week on the podcast and that. It's been great. It's been cool. I feel that growth has been slow in terms of the channel, considering it's been up for like 5-6 years. You know, some people literally turned up and went, hi, I'm from, you know, I'm cool. I'm from this country and I'm doing board games, and suddenly it's like 1 million followers. But for me, it's just been really, really slow growth. But it's been good fun. I enjoy doing this. I've met loads of people. I would never have this many games and meet this many people and engage with you on a live stream if it wasn't for starting the blog. So no regrets. But Why did I get into it? I just felt like it. You know, I saw Dice Tower, I watched their videos, and this was early days, and I just thought, that looked like fun. Maybe I should do it. And this was before there was like a dime a dozen reviewers out there. But, you know, I started, I just did written for a while, then I tried YouTube, very amateurish. I mean, some of those videos might even still be on my channel, and I'm half ashamed of them because it's like, oh my God, we've come a long way in terms of audio and visual quality there. But yeah, I just kind of felt like doing it, and it's just taken off since, and now I can't really stop, but I don't want to stop. But like I say, it's kind of like, nah, I'm not in a position to sort of do that. But no, it's been good fun. But it really was just a case that I watched some people do it and thought, that looks like fun. I like talking, I like giving opinions, I'm very much a critic, and yeah, it just kind of worked out. What have we got? One sec. Sorry, clear my throat and that. Yeah, this pretty much sums up. Yeah, very, very slow growth, but you're right. We do it because we love it and love building our small community. It works for me too. Would I love to be as famous as a Dice Tower? Oh yeah, definitely. But do I care that I'm not? Not really. What do we got? Let's see. What do we got there? Next content. Where was the question? Right, I got two more. So, if your region had to evacuate, what is one game that you would take knowing the rest will be lost? It would probably be Spirit Island or Sentinels in the Multiverse at this point. Probably Sentinels in the Multiverse, although Spirit Island might be a close second. Basically, they are some of my favorite games at the moment, and they give me a ton of variety. I'd be able to play those endlessly for ages. Probably I would take Sentinels in the Multiverse, actually, because I think even compared to Spirit Island, I would be able to play that more times. And I've got the whole collector's set and all that, so I could just take this massive crate, save that, all the content I ever need. The rest would be lost, but I'd still have that to play. And finally, have you done a top 10 small box games video? No, I have not, apparently. I've not done this one. Should I? Let me know in the comments. You know, I mean, patrons have given me some very good top 10 suggestions. And in fact, I said I was bringing them back, and I'm keeping my promise. They are coming back because I already have the list planned, as well as the people's choice for top 10 essential expansions, and I'm going to record that tomorrow and get that edited during the week before next week's live stream. So at some point during this week on a weekday, you will get a top 10 essential expansions, me solo, in the other room, proper video, not on StreamYard or whatever, and top 10s are back. But I got other ideas for top 10s as well. I mean, the live stream next week is with Lighting Up Initiative, and that's going to be, well, it's top 5 technically, not top 10, because I'm trying to shorten the streams. And that's going to be top 5 disappointing games. So that should be good. Both of us get to rag on some games. You know, we like those. We like opinions on that. Hopefully he doesn't think any of my games are disappointing. Otherwise, there might be hell to pay. But other than that, yeah, maybe I should do a top 10 small box games or tiny games or small games because, well, maybe something like this could end up on the list. We'll see. But yeah, I haven't done one. Maybe I should. Let me know if I should. Right. Whew, blimey, 49 minutes into the stream and all I've done is Patreon questions. So sorry about that. But yeah, that is everything that the Patreons have asked me. Sometimes they don't ask me any questions. This time when I asked, they asked me like 15 plus. And it's like, wow, lots of questions. But now, live chat questions. So by all means, anything you like. Doesn't even have to be gaming related. Just, you know, get some questions in the chat, even if they're quick fire, like, you know, chocolate or mint, whatever. You know, just get some questions in there. Now's the time. So with that, I'm going to have a drink while I wait for that. There we go. We got there. So not much yet so far, but it does take a little while to update on here. So I'll wait for that. What else have I done lately? Before I get, actually, I'm just going to do a shout out for this movie that I watched recently. You might have heard of it on Netflix. I was skeptical about watching this, but I'm just going to say very quickly, I'm not going to go into too much details, but you all have to watch this movie. It's a new animated film from the same people who did, same studio who did Lego Movie and Spider-Verse. It's called Mitchell's for the Machines. You need to watch this movie. This I thought was going to be too much for kids. Yes, it's enjoyable from the family, but it's got some good adult commentary in here. It's got some good adult jokes every now and again. I don't mean like pervy jokes. I mean, it's got some jokes that only adults will understand based on, you know, lifestyles at the moment. But this is one of the most energetic, hilarious animated comedies I have seen in a long time. It is absolutely brilliant. I laughed my head off. I was rewinding bits like continuously to hear the joke again because I thought it was so funny. It's got great characters. It even like does, I don't want to spoil things, but there are certain aspects that you get hints of about characters, particularly Katie, the main character. You get hints about her as a character, but you don't twig until the final credit sequence where it's confirmed. It's like, great, you did it and you didn't shove it in my face, love it. But honestly, if you've not watched this movie, watch it. It's so much fun. I absolutely adored this movie. Right, let's get on to some questions. What do we got then? Wow, there's a few coming here. Here we go. Second try. Yes, better late than never, Mario. So, do you have a favorite game mechanism? I quite like, what do you call it? Multi-use cards. Yeah, multi-use cards I think is my favorite. So, best example, Valley of the Kings right there. So, give me a card that has multiple uses. With Valley of the Kings, I either entomb it, or I use it for currency, or I play it for a special ability. Maracaibo has multi-use cards. Dale of Merchants, technically, those cards are used for multiple things. I love having a bunch of cards in my hand, and I've got to decide, oh, great, do I use it for this, or do I use it for this? Even Marvel Champions, the cards are the resources. So I either play the card for the ability, or I use it as currency. Oh, which way do I do it? I love that. So that's definitely my favorite. Is there a mechanic that you like, but never seems to be in a good game? Interesting. I can't imagine that there's a mechanic I like that's not in a good game. I mean, I mentioned multi-use cards. There's plenty of good games. There's plenty of good worker placement games. There's plenty of good deck builders. Although with deck builders, I must admit, deck building is something that tends to get stapled onto a game for the sake of it. There's a new Transformers game, I believe. Transformers deck building game or something. And I'm a little bit skeptical that this is going to be any good. It may be amazing, but I'm just worried that this has been stapled onto Transformers for the IP and it's going to suck. And usually what gives me the first worry is when it has deck building game as part of the title. It's like, oh no, is this going to be like Cryptozoics, like DC Deck Builder and all those horrible ones? It's like, no, please. I mean, I'll try it because it's Transformers and I like Transformers, but I'm worried. But yeah, I can't think that there's any... I mean, most of the mechanics that are in games I don't like are mechanics I don't like auctions and stuff, and shares and trains and stuff like that. But deck building would probably be the one that I think gets too stapled on now and again. Like, there's too many games that try to use deck building and don't get it right. But yeah, I think that's probably the best way for it. Yeah, what else we got? What are essential expansions for Scythe? None of them, really. I wouldn't say any of them are essential, but... I mean, if you just want more variety for players, then get the Invaders one, just have the green and purple in there. But I quite like the Wind Gambit one. You get airships that makes mobility a lot better. So certain slow people can now get out of their area with the airships. They're quite cool, and they look good on the board. But it also gives you different end game triggers. So you might have normally you got to get 6 stars. Now the factory might blow up after 5 stars and suddenly you get points for being near it. There might only be 20 turns in the whole game. There might be a King of the Hill moment where it finishes, And Wind Gambit, like I say, I don't think they're essential. None of them are essential, but they're all good. Even Fenris I liked. It had an okay campaign, but the modules that it added in there, wow. I mean, I'm not spoiling at all, but yeah, there's some cool stuff to add to your Scythe if you are a competent player at it. But yeah, I'd say just get any of them. They're all good, although not the biggest fan of the modular map. The nerd shelves will say otherwise, and I think some of that is because I think the modular map balances it out for 2-player games, but I don't play it 2-player, so it's not one for me. What are your thoughts on Concordia Venus? You know exactly, surely, by now what my thoughts on Concordia and Venus are. I cannot stand Concordia. I hate that game. I find it boring. I find it too punishing, where somebody can buy your cards without you being able to stop them, and suddenly your whole scoring mechanism is skewed. The cards aren't even balanced. I mean, nobody wins the game by scoring 1 point for every 10 money they've got. It's like, I find people just score by building lots of towns and win the game that way, which is kind of boring. I don't know, just a lot of that stuff just infuriates me in that game. Bland theme, horrible. Well, the board looks pretty, but the box cover looks horrible. It takes too long for what it is. I mean, for how simple that game seems to feel, the fact that it's taking 90 minutes plus just feels too long, and everybody raves on about it, and I don't get it why. I hate that game. Hate that game. Let's see. Wife and... I'm guessing that's meant to be wife and kids, but I was like, wife and money thoroughly enjoyed... Oh, maybe that was wife and I don't know, but I'm curious who money is in particular on this one. But yeah, that Mitchell's movie is fantastic. You've got to watch that movie. So good. Where do we go? Hello, Chudamania. What do we got there? Have you ever played Sandwich Masters? I recently got it from Big Punch Studios and loving it. They've just announced an expansion called Bread Rolls. Are you trolling me right now? This really doesn't sound like a game. Sandwich Masters. This cannot be a game, surely. Okay, it actually exists. What is this? Never heard of this game. Build disgusting sandwiches as fast as possible, but avoid the health inspector. Are you literally building out of cards, or is this like a dexterity game? I think, yeah, you're just building out of cards. Okay. Not winning me over. I mean, it's got some jokey pictures that might be funny once. It looks like something I would expect to see on Kickstarter, really cheap for like 10, 15 bucks. And it's somebody's passion project maybe, but I've never heard of it, honestly. Never played it, and honestly, I don't think I probably would want to play it. It doesn't really look like anything special, but I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah, you're not selling me with this one. What's it even ranked? 12,577. Okay, not to say that means you can't have a good game at 12,577, but it's not exactly getting my hopes up, put it that way. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you're enjoying it, but I don't think that's going to be one for me. I don't think I'm the... okay. Dog pig, loaf of bread. That joke is so good. Not spoiling, but trust me, that phrase is going to be ingrained in your subconscious by the time you watch that movie. It's such a good joke. Alright, is there a game that you may not think is the greatest game, but you'll always play it because it's just fun? So a game I just think is fun. Most people have something like Magical Athlete for that one. What am I thinking? I'll play because it's just... Well, surely I'll play most games and think they're great, and therefore they're fun. But I used to think that about stuff like Talisman, because Talisman is objectively a bad game, but I think we played it out of nostalgia, but I wouldn't play it anymore. I really can't think of any. Maybe some of the Steve Jackson games. I used to play things like Ninja Burger and Illuminati and stuff with people in college. I wouldn't play them really these days, but maybe I would play them just out of nostalgia. But I can't think of anything that I would play. I mean, if I think it's fun, then surely I already think it's a very good game. Maybe not the greatest game ever, but it's still going to be one I think is great. So I don't get that I would have one like that. Let me know what... I don't think I've got a good answer for that one, but let me know what your example of this is. Maybe that will tweak my thoughts on that one. Arnak uses multi-use cards. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's another example. Everybody likes that. What have we got there? Have you played the Gladius card game? It is a great game based on skewing the results of matches. No? Let's have a look. Gladius. Not one I've heard of either. 6,606. Okay, not exactly a good start, but let's see. Rigging gladiatorial games. The artwork's not bad though. Hang on, what awards it got there? Lucy People's Choice Tabletop Game of the Year. What award is this for? Because that's not an award I've heard of, and calling this Tabletop Game of the Year when no one's heard of it and ranked 6,000 makes me a little bit skeptical on that front. But, I mean, the artwork's pretty good. Is that Vincent Dutrait's artwork? I'm curious, actually. Is that Vincent Dutrait? Artist, nope, Cheryl Young. Okay, looked similar there for a second. Alright, let's have a look. I mean, could be a laugh. Not going to tell much from this, but... yeah, the pictures aren't revealing much apart from the fact that it looks nice on the cards, but is there anything else I can find out about this? So, Skillful use of underhanded tactics. Players can help and hinder teams to alter the outcome of each battle. Can you outwit your opponents to turn a profit, or will you be left empty-handed? This is kind of reminding me of Colossal Arena, because Colossal Arena, you wanted certain monsters to win, and you were kind of betting on that. That's a game I remember. I give it a 4 out of 10 now. I liked it more back then. I've kind of not a big fan of it now. But that kind of gave me that kind of vibe. Like trying to rig a contest to see who would win. I'd just say, it's not one I've heard of, though. It sounds better than that sandwich one, though. What have we got then? As a content creator who has to play a lot more games than the average board gamer, do you think you become a bit blind to see how good a game really is because you've seen similar games before, i.e. jaded? Yes. I think anybody who says otherwise is lying, because when I started off gaming, first time I went to places like UK Games Expo and Essen, I was like a kid in the candy store. Like, look at all these games. And now when I go to a convention, I'm more interested in meeting the people, but I'm less interested about the games. In fact, when people do their top 10s, like, ooh, top 10 games I'm expecting at Essen, it's like, oh, there's so many good games at Essen I'm expecting. I go through those same lists, the Tabletop Together tool and whatever, and I struggle to find 10 games I give a monkeys about, let alone put a top 10 list together for it. And it's not because I think games suck now, but the problem is that when I first started, there was only so many games, and even back like 2011, 12, there was only so many games that came out. But now they're just pumping them out, like just turn the crank and turn out games. Like, I mean, just look at Roll 'em Rights, for example. That's basically just turn the wheel and out comes a Roll 'em Right game. But there's so many now that there's a lot of rinse repeat. It's difficult to innovate, and I want to see innovation with games now, and I'm just not seeing it. It's, you know, I know it's ironic, I've got a game called Innovation on the shelf, but, you know, stuff like Destinies, for example, you know, Chronicles of Crime, that innovated by throwing in the QR codes with the app. App integration like Mansions of Madness, again, that is innovation in games. Even escape room games are technically innovative. You know, it's something different. But there is a lot of games where I play it and I just go, that's fine, but I already have this game. Why do I suddenly need this one? This one already does this. And so it means that games cannot just simply be good anymore or okay. They've got to be better than that. They've got to wow me and say, no, I know that these other games exist. This is what I do differently and better. Then you'll win me over. But yeah, I think because you play a lot of games, you're going to get a natural progression of jadedness. Sorry. Oh, the problem is, every time I click off the StreamYard chat, it then skips all the way to the freaking end, and I have to go find my space again. Did not know Transformers had a deck builder. It technically doesn't yet. It's news. This is something that Renegade Games are going to put out in the future. So I will keep an eye on it. I'm just not expecting greatness. Are there any recent Kickstarters you backed, e.g. My Father's Work, Hidden Leaders, Vivid Memories? 2 of those I haven't even heard of. But My Father's Work, I looked at briefly. It didn't really interest me. No, there isn't any Kickstarters I can think of that I've backed recently. Let's see. I mean, there's Kickstarters arriving. I mean, Destinies is one thing, but I've got the Nemesis first wave coming soon, so that should be good. But things like Frostpunk and all that I've already done, they're not expected till later in the year. But let me see. Is there any? I don't think there's anything I've backed recently, because I'm trying to be a bit more careful with my cash on Kickstarters, because obviously there's like a ton of games and they're just charging the ends of the earth. What have we got? Let's see. Vindication expansion, Endless Winter, Mr. Cabbage Head's Garden. Stellaris Infinite Legacy is probably the let's see if I can get it up. Yeah, this is the latest one I pledged, and that's because I have played the Stellaris PC game and enjoyed it, and Academy Games have got good reputation. I think they can make a really good Space 4X game. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's the latest one I've pledged. I mean, I'm not that interested in My Father's Work. Even this new, what's it called? Mosaic? What have we got? Yeah, everyone's banging on about Mosaic. All of a sudden, nobody mentioned it, and then suddenly the previews came out and everyone said, Mosaic is fantastic, you've got to do it, it's amazing, get everything. It doesn't look like that much to me, honestly. Just because you've got Glenn Drover's name on it does not mean I'm going to suddenly love it, because I don't own any other Glenn Drover game. It looks like a fairly dry Civilization game. I do like Civilization games, although I say the artwork's very nice. I do like this artwork, and it sounds okay. I don't think it needs these big plastic miniatures. I mean, the pledge is what, like 100 and something, yeah, $150 plus VAT plus shipping for the Colossus pledge. Honestly, I don't know if I'd want the basic pledge. I'd probably have to get it all, but I don't know if this game is one that I like. I mean, it's been compared to Terraforming Mars. That's not exactly a good thing in my book, but even this one's not getting me that excited. But the thing that worries me is that all the previewers are coming out going, get this, it's amazing and amazing. It's like, dude, you previewed the game. That's not a review. I'm not trusting your judgment because I'm sorry, you cannot come out and say this game sucks when they gave you a Kickstarter pledge for it. It's like, of course you're going to be biased, and of course you're just going to tell me what it's about and say it's amazing because you don't want to tick them off. So I can't trust people's judgment on this game, so I don't know what to think of it. It could be fun, but honestly, I'm doubt I'm going to pledge for it. I'm definitely getting a lot more stringent on what I pledge for these days. What do we got? Nerd Shelves agreeing. Yes, the modular map is better with 2 players. If you're not playing 2-player, no need to add it. Perfect. There you go. Perfect summary there. In fact, they've done a video on the modular map, so go watch it. Let's see. What board game? Get this. Right. What board game kicked off your journey into the board game hobby? Dead of Winter showed me that board games were more than just Monopoly and Risk. Wow, Dead of Winter was your first inclination? That was a jump. But first one. Well, it's hard to say. I mean, I played board games with the family for a while, so let's exclude that. We're talking a modern board game. When I was at university, I was playing a lot of Magic the Gathering, but doing RPGs. But I do remember playing some of those Steve Jackson games like Illuminati and stuff like that, Ninja Burger and things like that with some friends. But the one game that's still an evergreen now that I was playing was Citadels. Citadels was one I played back in university, and I really enjoyed it. This is pre this Master Set version, but I remember playing a lot of Citadels and really enjoying it. But I didn't realize that was what modern board games were like, so I'm not sure that counts either. If you're talking about what kicked me off on this obsession, when, 7 years ago or something, when I thought, I'll go to a board game club, I'll see what it's like, and the first game I played, Seven Wonders. Seven Wonders. Someone taught me it. I got into a 7-player game with leaders. And as I say every time I teach a Euro game, if you don't know what you've got to do to win, just pick a strategy, run with it, and see what happens. I did exactly that. We got drafted leaders. I found 2 that gave me points for reds and cheaper reds. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to focus on reds. Let's get a lot of red cards. Let's beat up my neighbors and go with that. Played it, won it. First game ever, modern games, 7-player, 7 Wonders, leaders, won it, And yet, people don't listen to me when I tell them to play like that. They have to min-max everything and learn every single aspect of the game. It's like, no, test the waters. See if you like it. But yeah, I mean, 7 Wonders and Citadels would be the first 2 games I can think of. I know you like anime. You ever watch Paprika? If not, you need to. Paprika. I do like anime, but I don't watch a ton of it, mainly just because of time. I'm very choosy with the anime. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of anime series that I would watch. I mean, I went on a mission at the start of COVID watching Studio Ghibli, all those movies. So I watched like Howl's Moving Castle. Is it Girl from the Sky or Castle in the Sky? I can't remember, one of the two. But yeah, I've watched Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, and a few others. There's a few I still yet to watch actually, but I've not. Is this it? Is it cool? Is this it? Is this the one you're on about? This film? It's a 2006 Japanese anime film. What's it about? About a research psychologist who uses a device that permits therapists to help patients by entering their dreams. Okay, so at least visually, that'd be really cool, because I could imagine an anime would go to town on that kind of thing. Maybe I can get it on Paprika. If I go on IMDb, maybe I can find a better idea of it. So 2006. I'm not going to watch the trailer because I'll probably get flagged or something, but see if I can get some photos. Okay. Well, actually, the animation looks pretty cool. What the hell is that? Well, it is Dream, so I guess it's got some weird imagery in that. Okay, some creepy stuff as well. Interesting. Problem is, people have recommended anime stuff to me for ages, and I just can't watch it all. But yeah, I do enjoy some anime, but I'm a bit more picky. So what do I watch? I watch I like Dragon Ball Z. That was one of the first animes I watched. And then back then, I also checked out things like Trigun and Love Hina and Elfen Lied and a few of those others. But these days, if Dragon Ball Z or Super is on, I'll watch it. But obviously, that's been like on and off for ages. But the two animes I'm watching at the moment is Boruto, because I watched Naruto and Shippuden like all the way through, like all 500 million episodes I watched. And I sort of hesitated on watching Boruto, but I'm enjoying it so far. You know, it's nice to have a continuation, so I'm up to date with that one. But yeah, I love this series, and so I've been like the whole Naruto thing, so I've really been enjoying that. But I'm also really addicted to the dub of My Hero Academia. That has really got me, and you know, I love this concept of superheroes all with different abilities and training at school. The animation has been really good. The soundtrack on both of these two I've just mentioned is really good, so I like listening to the songs. And the dub for I usually listen to dub if the voices are good. I listen to Japanese Boruto and Naruto because the English dub of Naruto sucks. But I think the dub of My Hero Academia is brilliant. I mean, you got Vegeta's voice doing All Might. That's already a seller. But I think when it's these animes, I love all these distinguished characters. Naruto has got all these different ninjas with all sorts of weird variety of special abilities. This has a bunch of superhero kids with all this wide variety of special abilities, and I think that's what I like, because all the characters feel distinct. Yes, I can't remember half of their names to save my life, but I know that, oh, he's the guy who causes explosions, he's the guy who's ice and fire, she's the girl who can levitate, she's the girl who creates, he's the guy who has belly lasers or whatever, and it's like, I recognize who they are based on their abilities, and it's just the fact that I can get so many new and fresh characters. But yeah, these are the two animes I am watching like crazy at the moment. I don't know what any other animes I'm watching at the moment. No, I think they are the two. Moving on. And what have we got then? Let's have a look. Oh, God. Nerd Shelves has to run. I've only just noticed this. But yeah, thank you, Nerd Shelves. Thanks for turning up. Bye-bye to you. Let's see. How do you manage your game collection? Does it cover for every game group, time range, or game mechanics, and have you set a limit, or is it just up to storage space? The latter. It is all storage space. I'm now at a point where it's pretty much one in, one out, unless I can squeeze it. So stuff like Villagers and the original Valley of Kings, you know, if they can squeeze into a slot, I'll slip them in, but I'm trying to keep these games somewhat publisher-centric, so, you know, we got like, you know, Fantasy Flight Column, we got like AEG, and then to Portal, you know, Eagle Griffin, and then Ryan Lockett. Under that's Madigo, and then Repost Production. There's Stonemeyer. You know, so I'm trying to keep them favorably for that. But yeah, I'm trying to basically, if I get new games in, I might have to cull something else. Like, I mean, once the new copy of Mandala Stones arrives, I'm probably culling Azul, you know, to make room for that. But does it cover for every game group? I say for most game groups. I mean, I like a wide variety of games. There are certain aspects I don't like I'm not a big auction fan, and I don't like heavy train games about shares and dividends. I hate that stuff. I hate anything that Splotter ever puts out, and I don't tend to go for the really dry Euros, although there are some exceptions. I mean, Pulsar 2849 is not exactly thematic, but I mean, I've got light games, I've got gateway games, I've got midway, I've got heavy, case in point, and Mind Clash below, I do, and Predaporter. And solo and cooperative and competitive. Yeah, I do cater for quite a wide audience. If you come around my house, I would be hard pressed to think there is not a single game in my collection that you would not like. Like, I can't imagine you would hate every single game in my collection. There has to be something you would enjoy, even if we had fundamentally different tastes. Whew, and breathe. Whew, breathe. Breathe. So what have we got next? Favorite snack food. What do I tend to eat for snacks? I mean, I'm generally quite healthy. I eat nuts, I eat fruit. I do like my apples. What are the snack food? I mean, are we talking like confectionery type snack, like desserts? I mean, I do love ice cream. Ice cream's so delicious, and I try not to eat that much of it. Ooh. Like I say, I don't tend to snack that much. I'm trying to be healthy, and my portion control is my worry thing. You know, I love curries, I love chilies for like main meals. Fruit is probably my favorite snack food. I mean, be it apples, pears, oranges, mango. You know, I like eating fruit in general. Yogurt's a good snack food. I like natural yogurt, Greek yogurt, you know, flavored yogurt, whatever. I don't tend to protein bars. I'll eat those. Like I say, I don't tend to eat much in the way of confectionery snack food. It's relatively healthy, despite the fact I've got a fat stomach. Well, I guess maybe the alcohol does that for me, or maybe I'm just naturally fat. But yeah, I try to be as healthy as I can. Pretzels are cool when I go out. Skittles is a really nice sweet. I love Skittles. All the E numbers. Anything else snack-wise? That's probably it. I mean, like I say, ice cream is probably my favourite dessert. Just nice. Give me a nice flavour. Likey. Let's see. Radus. I've not actually played Radus. I would like to try that one. Hello to the Dr. T. Have I played Red Rising? No, I haven't. The cards do look beautiful, but all the reviews are not coming back that great. I mean, there's some people who love it, but I mean, it doesn't look like much. I have no idea what the Red Rising book series is. Apparently, the game doesn't even represent it as well as it could. And the Dice Tower reviewed it recently, and all 4 of them were 6s and 6.5s. Not one person rated it a 7+. I mean, I didn't get a copy from Stonemaier because he sent it out to others. I didn't request one specifically. I'll try it if I see it, but honestly, I'm not expecting greatness from that one. Everyone's saying goodbye to the nerd shelves. My first real board game was the World of Warcraft board game by Fantasy Fly. Oh my word. I have not played that game, but is that the one where turns can take up to 20 minutes? Like, you could be waiting 20 minutes to take your next turn. That's not a level of downtime that I want to put up with. That's why I don't want to play Zyre, Legend of Adrift with multiplayer. I would only play it solo. I'm sorry, but I'm not playing with that kind of downtime. The Hexy Beast, so late, yes. But don't worry, you can always watch this later. Not sure what you're referring to. That's the one. Let me scroll back. You ever watch Paprika? Oh, that's all right. So that was the right Paprika. Like I say, if I get a chance to watch it, but I'm not making promises. It's just so much time. I'm already watching a bunch of series at the moment. I mean, I still watch The Flash and Supergirl and Legend of Tomorrow. I still watch a lot of that CW stuff, superheroes wise. I watched all of Disney Plus's stuff like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision. I spent a lot of the first part of lockdown watching the Clone Wars, all 7 seasons. By the way, watch it. It's fantastic. All 4 seasons of Rebels. I'm watching The Bad Batch at the moment, which is decent enough. It's okay. I don't think it will measure up to something like the Clone Wars, but it's fine. Is there another TV series I'm watching? Other than the anime ones I just mentioned? Probably not. I think that's it. Although I do need to watch, what's it called? Love, Death and Robots. They just brought a new 2nd season out on Netflix. I need to watch that. Might do that later tonight, actually. I might watch that. What do we got? Hello, Sonova, how you doing? Just popping by to say hi, hope you're doing great, cheers, and just like every other girl in my life, they appear, they briefly talk to me, and then they're gone. Wow, get the violin out for that one. But yeah, hey to you both. It's a shame. I mean, your stream was fun to chat to in there. That you're just going to have to tell me a time that you two can turn up for a stream and stay the entire hour and a half or whatever or something. I'll try and tailor it to then so we can have you in the chat as well next time. We'll try, but good to hear from you, Sonova. Oh yeah, don't forget to check out the Twitter or say, because I've asked you about coming back on for another collaboration top 5 or something, because people have been asking for us to do another show together because they enjoyed how much we ragged on each other in the first one. So we don't have to do a rag list. We can do a nice friendly top 5, or a discussion topic of your choice. But yeah, people want to see us free together again because they thought we had good chemistry. And I agree. Let's see. XL Saga is my favorite anime, so tropey and self-referential and hilarious. Again, I've heard the name, but I don't know anything else. I'm trying to think. What else have I been tempted by? I mean, I watch Angry Joe's show, and he's mentioned things like Jujutsu Kaisen. Never heard of it. There's something going around called Demon Hunter at the moment. Some friends of mine have been saying meh stuff about Castlevania. I mean, I just can't watch every single series. It's ridiculous. I just tend to sort of notice the season, something it may just grip me. I mean, I don't even know what made me watch My Hero Academia. I think I saw a couple of videos on YouTube and it looked good. And I think I heard that You Say Run song, which is probably one of the best anime songs ever devised. It's like one of my favorite songs and my favorite tracks. And I think when I heard that track, I thought, let's watch the first couple of My Hero Academia episodes. Instant hook, watched it, love it, all 5 seasons as we're going through at the moment. What have we got? Me and you have similar anime tastes. Possibly, but I mean, I am a noob when it comes to anime compared to friends of mine. What do we got? Have you seen any of the Mobile Suit Gundam series? Nope. When I was at university, some people talked a lot about Gundam, but I've never watched it. Honestly, I used to like Transformers as a kid, but I don't think I'm a mech fan anymore. You know, Transformers was fun, it's nostalgic, but I just don't really care about big robots, you know, transforming and shooting each other or something, because it's only so much variety you can do with that. So the anime versions just haven't sort of sung with me, because there was things like Evangelion, I think I watched a little bit of, but again, didn't really see much use for that. Not use, but didn't get into that one. No, some just work with me. And like I say, My Hero and Naruto and Dragon Ball Z. Well, Dragon Ball Z was an old nostalgic classic. I mean, I love that series. But the Hero Academia and Naruto, as I said, lots of characters with very distinct abilities. That for some reason just gets me. I'm a variety of the spice of life person. No, do not get me started on One Piece. I know has that even ended? I'm pretty certain that is still going. After School Dice Club is a cool Love Hina style anime about board games. I have heard of this. I haven't seen much in the way of like amazing reviews to it though. Like nobody's really saying it's a great anime series. But what's it called? After School Dice Club. Yeah, I'm not hearing much in the way of great reviews to it. I mean, 6.6 is not a particularly high rating. And I know it's got board games and it's an anime, but is it interesting? I mean, I'm not going to watch it just because it's got board games in it, even though I like the idea of it. But yeah, the reviews are coming back kind of meh. Although some people like it, relaxing and fun. Let's see. How many people have reviewed this? Just the one person. See one user review. Well, that's not telling me much. I don't know. Maybe I'll check out one episode or so just to see maybe if the pilot episode. I mean, it's only 12. I suppose that's one thing that actually puts me off watching a lot of anime at the moment. I mean, I've stuck to the animes I'm watching at the moment, despite the fact like Naruto had 400 episodes per thing. It's kind of ridiculous. But you know, I'm actually more interested. If I'm going to watch an anime, I'd rather it be something that's short. I mean, 12 episodes sounds cool. You know, 12 episodes, get it done nice and quick. I'm just getting a little bit sick and tired of the animes where it starts off in episode 1 and doesn't end until episode 500,000. It's like kind of ridiculous. What do we got then? You probably love Hunter x Hunter. Never heard of it. I've heard of One Piece, but watching it, looking at Boku no Academia. Is that just My Hero Academia? Or the Japanese name for it, I don't know. But yeah, My Hero Academia is great. I really love it. Once you've heard that You Say Run song, you won't like like any other anime song. It's just so good. Let's see. I love XL Saga because it's super offensive and each episode changes its theme based on the whim of the writer. Okay, odd. What was it that? One Piece, yeah, longest running anime. You think Naruto has a lot of episodes, it will take you ages. That's why I'm not even going to bother. I'm sorry. I mean, when I watch Naruto, I don't think. Yeah, when I watched Naruto, I had a lot of episodes to catch up on, but I think it was a couple of hundred when I started watching it. And then I got to a point where I was watching the new one, and then Naruto Shippuden was the same deal, so I was watching it as a constant thing. If I had only just started watching Naruto now, I mean, I've done it with Boruto, but Boruto I've had to do, what, 100 and not 180, about 100 episodes or 80. So I can't remember how many episodes, 150 odd, 180 odd or something episodes of Boruto, and it's taken me a while to do that, but only because of COVID. Because I left it for a while. But yeah, I would not try to watch 800, 1,000 episodes of Naruto from scratch now. It'd be ridiculous. What have we got then? My question is anything, even healthy ones. Hey, what? I don't quite get it. Have I finished the Under Falling Skies campaign? Still waiting for my copy. And have you printed and played the solo campaign updates? Yes to the former. It was fine. Like I say, the campaign's nice. It introduces some extra rules and stuff, but don't really care about the story. But I just like playing it as a standalone solo game. Have I printed and played the app updates? I wasn't aware there were any. I'll have to look those up. Oh, wait. Sorry, you're talking about the Lost Ruins of Arnak one. I didn't realize the campaign was out yet. Is that out yet? I mean, I've not had a chance to play Arnak solo for a while, so I'd have to look that up and, you know, I'm not aware that it's publicly out, to my knowledge. I thought they were still working on it. I thought you were talking about Unfolding Skies. What do we got then? Been reading some of your old... what do we got there? Arkham Horror 2nd Edition reviews. Do you still own it? Nope, because... Actually, wait a minute. No, I do still own Arkham Horror 2nd Edition. I just haven't played it in years, because this is the one I've got in a box, the 3rd edition, but I've still got Eldritch Horror and Arkham Horror 2nd Edition complete in these giant crates up there. The problem is, because they've got a million rules and they're in these giant crates, I just can't get them out to play. But the problem is I can't sell them in that crate, so what am I supposed to do? They're just there. I can't get rid of the things. I would happily sell Arkham Horror 2nd Edition complete because I'm never going to play it. But I don't know what to do about that, really. I did play Eldritch Horror recently before the second lockdown because somebody at my Portsmouth club wanted to play it again. But that took a lot of investment to try and learn that one again. So I could keep Eldritch Horror, but yeah, I've got no use for Arkham Horror 2nd Edition anymore. Will do, and yes to collab. Yes, please do. I put something on your Twitter feed, Sunniver. I know you don't often, go on Twitter and stuff, so that's fine. But yeah, definitely, let me know. I've only got collabs planned for the next 2 weeks, even though I've asked several people to get back in touch with me. So by all means, come up with an idea and let's do another one. And I promise you, like I say, I'm cutting the length down on them as per that live stream I did, so this next one will not take us 2.5 hours, alright? We'll try and make it take closer to like 60, 75 minutes, alright? What do we got? Let's see. Yes, it is. Me and a friend tried to play again in 2019, and we played for roughly 7 hours and did a few turns each before packing it up. Yeah, that's the World of Warcraft game in a nutshell. It's way too long. Whoop. Go. The chat skipped ahead a bit. Hey, look, I'm kind of late, but I made it. Mate, you do not have to worry about being late to a stream. You can always watch it later. And frankly, you met me in person earlier to chat to me, so I think that kind of more than makes up for it, mate. It was good to meet you finally in person, though. And hopefully the stuff you grabbed... I wonder if you've tried. Have you tried any of the stuff you grabbed at Dice Portsmouth this morning? It'd be interesting. But like I say, you can't go wrong with Baron Park. That's a guaranteed. The Fist of the North Star, Yuwashok is the... Yuwashok? Whatever, is the best anime theme. I'd have to listen to that one because I don't recognise the theme. I know what Fist of the North Star is. It's odd, but it's kind of hilarious in places. But Yuwashok, I'll listen to it after I'm done with this. One Piece. For anime reviews, you're better off looking at the website My Anime List. Noted. Go. Shorter animes. 26 episodes is my sweet spot. I'd rather it be less than that, to be honest, but yeah, fair enough. I was getting a bit worried. Kabuki Kid normally turns up to every single stream, and it's like, oh, he hasn't this time. What's going on? Especially as we're almost getting to the finishing point. Let's see. Well, as long as I can bother with my voice. Let's see. Why not sell them in those crates? Some people would want it that way. I can try. I mean, I can put it on Facebook and say, look, this is the entire Arkham Horror collection. It's in a giant crate. You're going to have to collect it from my house. There's no way I'm posting this. It weighs a metric ton. So if somebody wants it, fine. I don't know how I'd price it, but I could try. Although the problem is, with the Arkham Horror 2nd Edition, now that I think of it, it's in a crate that also contains Eldritch Horror. So if I get rid of Arkham Horror 2nd Edition, I'd also have to get rid of Eldritch Horror, and I'm not sure I want to. Although maybe I should. I mean, I've played it the once... and I still like the game, but how often am I going to play Eldritch Horror? I mean, I haven't even played this one in a while, but at least that one's easier to get to the table. And I prefer Mansions of Madness. Mansions of Madness and Arkham Horror LCG are my go-to Arkham games at the moment, so maybe I should consider selling all of Arkham and Eldritch, but who would want to buy a giant crate with all of Arkham Horror 2nd Edition and Eldritch Horror all complete in a crate? I don't know how I would price that. I don't know who would buy it, especially not locally. But I suppose it couldn't hurt to try. We'll have to see. In which case, I might be able to do the same for my Legendary games. Marvel Legendary's got that problem as well. So much bloat. And this is what I said on the podcast on last Sunday. Bloat can kill a game because you just don't want to go through the setup process. Yes, Arnak's solo campaign is not out yet. They've just released some print and play updates for the difficulty. That's a different story. What do we got then? Have you done Zyre solo? Do you like that mode? I have only done Zyre solo because I bought it with the expansion off the get-go because Mark Dainty, not Board Gaming, told me to. And to be fair, he's right. But the thing is, I don't think I want to play it multiplayer. Maybe 2-player max, but I'm serious. I've played it solo. Takes a while to play solo, but I can see how the downtime with multiplayer is ridiculous. And I watched the Dice Tower Marathon where they actually tried to teach Zyre to Z and Sam, and the downtime is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but I just cannot understand why you would play Zyre multiplayer more than 2 players. It's just too much. But solo is good. I don't care about the campaign mode, I just like to play it standalone, but you get to do what you do in Zyre, choose to go explore and all that, and that's cool. You got to put up with the randomness as usual, but the expansion adds the mods and stuff. I think it's best played solo. The only thing that hurts it a bit in solo mode is that I think that the opposition AI accelerates up the score track too quickly. It kind of forces you to really be quick at what you're doing, and the rate at which the AI gets points is random, which is a little bit annoying, really. But like I say, I'm still in 2 minds about whether I'm going to keep Zyre, but I am thinking about it, especially as Folded Space has got back in touch with me saying that they're willing to send me some more inserts, and I have not got one for Zyre, so I'm very tempted about that one. So yeah, people have asked whether I'm going to do any more Folded Space reviews. Well, they want to send me some more stuff, and I don't have one for War of the Ring, or Zyre, or Rajas of the Ganges, and they're about to release one for Abyss at the end of the month for all the expansions. I definitely want an insert for Abyss. So, yeah, we'll go with it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I always get that wrong. Apologies. Not a he. It's been an hour and a half on the stream. Give you a break. Sorry. Alrighty, what have we got there? You are all mad. Detroit Metal City, best anime opening in series ever. Never heard of it, Gov. Detroit Metal City and Yo Shock. I'll go back through the chat and look up these theme tunes. Let's see. Do you know that Arkham Horror has some really pricey expansions, so some people out there may jump at that? I suppose I could try. But what would I price it at? Arkham Horror 2nd Edition with all expansions in a custom crate that weighs a metric ton with all of Eldritch Horror as well. And dividers. How would you price such a thing? It took me ages to build that collection up. It would be sad to see it go, but yeah, I guess it's not getting played. As much as I enjoy the games, it's got to be realistic, and the amount of space it would save would be pretty good, actually. Right. Regarding that, Judy, my address. It's not so much your address, it's you need to know mine. You need to know that I'm near the Portsmouth, UK area, and if you want it, you're gonna have to, well, not only pay whatever I can figure out price-wise for it, but also you're coming to collect it. I ain't posting this sucker. It's not happening. What have we got? Mansions of Madness getting to bloke point. Let's see. I remember that Zyre game with Tom said, yeah, exactly. That was painful because they both didn't like it and complained endlessly. Now, I mean, you could convince me to play Zyre with free if everybody knows what they're doing. Only then. No new players. 2-player I could be convinced to play though, but mainly I've only played it solo. I've not polled it multiplayer, but I just can't see why I would want to play it multiplayer with new players. I just can't see it working. I mean, I must admit, I found that playthrough they did funny to watch because they were complaining. But yeah, it did get to a point where it's like, okay, seriously guys, I know you don't like this game and you probably made the right decision to pack it up early because otherwise you'd have been there hating it. But less complaining, please. I mean, it was the same like the Pulsar 2849 playthrough they did. Like Z was constantly complaining through that one. And it's kind of like, granted, the jokes were funny. It was funny to watch that, but it's kind of like, there's a limit. I mean, I've played some games that I hate. I mean, what do you think I was like with Concordia and Great Western Trail and Food Chain Magnate the first times I played them? Yes, I hated their guts, but I shut the hell up about hating the game until I'm done with the game, or maybe I might mention during the game, like, this is not working out for me, I'm not a big fan, but I'm going to carry on and play it for the good of the group. I hate it when people whine and moan and God knows what else about the fact they don't like a game. It's like, just deal with it. It's a couple of hours out of your life. Just deal with it and move on. All right, what do you got? Let's have another drink while I read this. Yeah, you can't play Zyre solo without the expansion, which is a bit of a pain. It's not quite $1 million, though. Agreed that with most any longer game, you want people knowing the rules going in, yeah, and it's the same with all games in that respect, but it's kind of like that. Right, whew, we've actually reached the end of the comments, and we're already at an hour 35. I'll keep this going to an hour 45. We've got 10 more minutes, and then I'm wrapping this up. As I say, struggling for breath. And as I say, if I want to watch Love, Death, and Robots later on, I'm going to need... How long is Love, Death, and Robots? Let's have a look. That's one I want to watch. Love, Death... It's called Love, Death, and Robots, or have I got the name wrong? Yeah, Love, Death, and Robots. There should be another one, though. Love, Death, and Robots 2? Or is it called something else now? Or is it just called Season 2? Ah, yes, episode guide. So let's have a look. Season 2, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes. So less than before, but then how long is each episode? Episode 1 is how long? 15 minutes? Is that it? Oh, yeah, they were short, weren't they? And I guess they all vary. Some are longer than others. Oh, 10 minutes. So how long is Love, Death, and Robots the entire Season 2? That's what I want to know. Season 2. It's not telling me. All right, so... All right, maybe it won't. Maybe it'll only take me a couple of hours to watch it, but I do want to watch it because I did enjoy the first one. Yeah, Season 2 came out... literally Friday, I think. I think literally it released yesterday. So I'm definitely looking at that one. Let's see. We do that with TI4. If a new player joins, we make them read the rules before they show up. Yeah, I do that because, I mean, War of the Ring, I'm going to play that on Tuesday. My mate has to refresh the memory of the rules, but I'm not going to rely on him to teach me tomorrow. I'm getting that sucker... After I'm done editing the Jagged Earth... Well, it's going to take me a while to edit that one, but yeah, I've got to do a bit of editing with the Jagged Earth review and also record the top 10 essential expansions list. Once I'm done doing that... I am going to get out War of the Ring off my shelf, and I'm going to get it out here, and I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to learn those rules. I'm going to make certain that by Tuesday, I'm confident enough to play it. I'm not going to rely on him to teach me that whole game from scratch. No way, otherwise we'll never get it finished. You can get your wife to read rule books. Yeah, I was going to say, I could barely get any girlfriends to play games, let alone read any rule books. That's never going to happen. What else have we got? Nothing specifically, and some people I think probably have shot off by now, but as I say, I'll keep this going for another 7 odd minutes, so by all means just throw in some quick fire questions. I'll try and think of something else to chat about specifically. I'm still really interested in what this is. I need to get this out and find out. So getting this for free off the sale this morning, it looks cool. Hopefully it's worth it. It's supposed to be a relaxing game, so we'll see, but I'm interested on that. Destinies, I need to get that out and play it, so that should be interesting as well. Let's see, Waterwing advice. If you play the evil side, go non-stop at the good forces and take forts and whatnot. I assume that's what you'd want to do anyway, but I mean, honestly, he hasn't played it in ages. I've not played it ever. I don't know which side I'll be. I'm just going to go with the flow. I mean, let's say I'm not trying to get strategy tips for a game that big and grandiose. I just need to be able to understand it, play it the once and go, right, based on this, one of my first impressions, do I want to play it again? Or was this wasn't as good as I hoped it was, move on, sell it, whatever. But yeah, I know I'm taking a big stab at that one. It's Lord of the Rings, so fingers crossed. But yeah, like I say, I'm not going to guarantee success with it. You want Destiny so bad. What, you mean this? Come and get it. Honestly, I don't even know if I should be loving it. I've not even tried it yet, so this could be an absolute pile of rubbish for all I know, but we'll find out whether it is. I mean, it should be cool, I guess. The only thing is, I'm going to be mainly playing it solo. Is it going to be worse solo than multiplayer? I don't know. We'll find out. As I say, I will play this when I can and try and get a review done for it. What's the other thing I need to do? Oh yeah, Empires of the North. I've got Egyptian Kings, and people didn't ask. I said, would you like a Beyond the Base Game review of all the expansions and Empires of the North? Which was a mistake, because people have said yes. So yeah, there's going to be a Beyond the Base Game review of all these expansions in one big compilation. Not too detailed, but I'll probably just go into brief summary of how each faction works, and then recommend the buyer's guide for the expansions. But should be useful for people who are into Empires of the North. It is a fun game, and I could probably crack out a fair amount of those solo games in a week without too much trouble. Just end the line of Durin and you're good. I'll bear that in mind, but I might not be playing the evil side. For me, War of the Ring is rated a 10. Fair enough. I mean, I'm hoping it'll be good for me as well. Will you ever cull War Chest? Maybe. I got to admit, I mean, when I first reviewed it, I gave it a 10 because I was playing it a lot. I thought it was well designed. I thought it was such an innovative idea. It's not had a lot of plays, and the problem is I don't get 2 players to the table often, which means it's mainly played as a 2v2. And the last time I played it, it went so south because one guy just kept moaning on and on that things weren't going well for him. Yeah, you made dumb moves, therefore it's not going well. It's like, but he was moaning like crazy, and it really put me off playing it for a while. But since then, even trying to ignore that, it's not often I'm going to get it to the table for a 2v2. So War Chest could be something I cull soon. You know, it's just taking up space, and I don't think I'm going to be playing it very often. So it might be a cull in the future. We'll have to see. I still think the game's good, but I've not bought the expansions for it because I don't think it's going to last very long. Have you done all the Robinson Crusoe scenarios in the box? Base game, yes. Not all the promos, and certainly not all the Mystery Tales one. But I have done all the base set ones. Have I won them all? No. I've been told that War Chest shares some ideas from the Undaunted games. How? Not sure how they'd be similar, but I've not played the Undaunteds. Have you tried Star-Lord and Gamora and Marvel Champions yet? Well, funny you should mention that, actually. They are currently downstairs on a small coffee table in my lounge because I was opening them up and checking out their cards when I was watching the episode 3 of The Bad Batch. And, I mean, I haven't played with them. No, Roy Cannaday has done reviews for them. I'm going to check out those videos shortly after this, I think, actually, because I want to see what he thinks. But I've looked through the cards and the decks. Gamora looks strong as all get out. She basically gets you like lots of versatility when you play attack and fort events. She's got ways to recycle them. I think she's going to be a very strong hero. I don't know how Star-Lord is meant to function though. You get this gun, one of his guns in your starting hand, but you still got to play it. But his cards are relatively expensive, but he can do like a once per round thing of deal yourself a face down encounter card and you get to discount something by 3. Sounds cool. But I don't want lots of encounter cards. Encounter cards hurt in Marvel Champions. They're rarely ones that just pass you by. It's like, this is all bad. Why would I want to dish myself out more of them? And yeah, he's got some cards that say, oh, plus X damage or plus X thwart for every face down encounter card you've got. Again, I don't know if I want to play with that level of risk in something like Marvel Champions, especially against some villains. And the rest of his deck just sort of seemed okay. I mean, granted, if he's got both his element guns out, he's effectively able for 2 resources every round to attack for 2 and then attack twice for 3 each. So, with piercing. So, yeah, he can get some pretty good attack out there, and he's clearly built for leadership. But again, I just don't think Star-Lord's going to be very powerful. I mean, I'm sure somebody who's more of an expert at the game will prove me wrong, but Gamora is the one that I think, oh yeah, that's going to be hands down one of the best. In fact, I've only tried Groot. I haven't tried Rocket Raccoon yet. I need to see what he's like. But Groot was okay, but playing Protection Groot makes you very inept at being able to hurt the enemy. But yeah, I think out of the 4 of them, I've yet to try Rocket Raccoon, but I think Gamora is going to be the strongest out of the Guardians at this point. Let's see, what have we got? Oh god, we've moved on a bit. I'll just see if there's any of that. So Gamora is great. Star-Lord is like walking a tightrope. Different but fun. Yeah, it's like I don't think I've got the skill to walk that tightrope. But yeah, Gamora just looks sound. Like, I mean, she looks like very easy to get into while still being powerful. And I think that's a good thing without being too overpowered. Have you been thought about doing a first impression or Blitz review live with another reviewer? Your last one was great, by the way. Thank you. I'm glad the compilation actually, I mean, view-wise, how many views is that one getting? It's not exactly climbing up on the views as fast as I would like, but it is a compilation video, so that's kind of expected, and they weren't exactly the hotness in terms of games. What we got? That 884? Could be better, but I mean, it has got some popular things. And like I say, my to-do list is so much more manageable since I did that, because I've got something called Denia I should play at some point, but that can wait. That's not an urgent game. But now my to-do list is literally just the top 10 list I mentioned, the Jagged Earth thing I mentioned, and that's it. I wasn't planning to really review Sire because I can only review it from a solo perspective, but I'm not too fussed about that. The Empires of the North one I said I'd do, so there's something on my list. And obviously people want me to play Destinies now, but yeah, I think my to-do list is a lot more manageable since I did that massive chunk of Blitz reviews. Have I thought about doing one with the reviewer? Yes, I have. I mean, it could be another idea for a collaboration. I just don't know. The problem is you've got to find somebody who's played the game enough times to also review it with you, but I'd be up for that. A quick live stream, 30 minutes of discussing a game. I guess it would just be a hard one to arrange, but yeah, I'm not opposed to the idea. We'll see. Let's see. Have I played Cthulhu Wars? No, but I don't feel I need to because I've got Chaos in the Old World on my shelf. I am happy with that version. There's a war chest. What are some good alternatives to Lost Ruins of Arnak if I dislike the low player interaction in it? Well, it's got low player interaction in the sense that you don't directly screw other players over, but you've got to keep an eye on what the other players are doing because the spaces are very limited and those bonuses are first come, first serve. So even though, yes, it doesn't have direct player interaction, it's not like it's multiplayer solitaire entirely. But good alternatives. As much as there's a rivalry between the two, Dune Imperium would probably be the best bet. Dune Imperium would have, it's got worker placement and deck building as well. It looks horrible from an aesthetics perspective, but the game itself is good fun. I much prefer Lost Ruins of Arnak, but I still give Dune Imperium an 8. I know nothing about Dune though, so the theme, what there is in the game, doesn't work with me at all. But, it's got interaction by the combat phase that happens in it, so maybe that would be a better thing for you. What do we got there? I'm planning on starting my first game of Sleeping Gods. Right, let's see. Right. No more questions beyond Paul Corney's one. I'm going to wrap it up after that point. I'm planning on starting my first game of Sleeping Gods this weekend. Your first impressions convinced me just to start off on easy mode. You and no pun included convinced me to crack it open. Alright, to be fair, I don't watch his stuff anymore. But, let's see. Sleeping Gods. Well, the thing is, I do need to say something about that first impressions I did. Because, yes, that was my first impressions. But I found out I was playing a rule wrong. I still probably recommend you should start it off on easy mode. Because it can get tricky in places. But when I was doing that first impressions, I did get a rule wrong. I mentioned it in the following podcast, like, oh yeah, I need to backtrack a little bit with this. But I played a rule wrong with the combat, and it basically took the difficulty of combats from like tough to the damn near impossible. So it really influenced the game. Once I played it properly, I felt standard was a lot more balanced. But it's still not the easiest game in the world. So starting off on easy is fine, but my first impressions were a little bit skewed, I have to admit. What have we got then? Yeah, someone's agreeing with me. Yeah, Dune Imperium because it is essentially a similar style game. But yeah, worker placement's fairly low interaction anyway. But the combat phase makes up for it in that one. I struggled to get Groot. In fact, I couldn't get Groot. Who did I team up Groot with? Oh, I didn't team up with anything. I did a solo run with him, and I couldn't get Groot through the campaign. I mean, Groot just struggled against the Collector like crazy. The problem is, I said it on the podcast. The campaign in Galaxy's Most Wanted or whatever is too hard. I mean, Rise of Red Skull wasn't exactly a cakewalk, but it was doable. I beat it on standard mode, but the Guardians one, Most Wanted, the difficulty curve is ridiculous. It's so hard. I refuse to play Galaxy's Most Wanted as a campaign. No more. I don't want to play it as a campaign. I'm sorry, it's just too hard. You cannot just build a casual deck against it. You have got to tailor every single one, and I don't want to do that. So I'm playing all those ones standalone, and even then, I'm not a big fan of the Collector. I just think his decks, he's too hard. The Collector really messes things up. The others are doable, although I will say that, I say doable, what's this called? Ronan is still tough as nails, but yeah, I just think the campaign is ridiculous in that one. But the decks are cool. Yeah, Groot is not as powerful as I would have liked, even though it's quite fun to play. I do need to play Rocket, so yeah, I'll have to give Rocket a look. Minions tend to screw me over like crazy in that game, so if Rocket is mincing through him, that's why I tend to do better with the aggressive decks, because the minions are what screw me over, having to deal with them as well as the main villain and defend myself. I mean, the best I've ever done at the game in terms of which decks worked best was when I did Kang. I did the Kang campaign with Captain America and Hawkeye as a two-handed team-up. Brilliant. Hawkeye, I'm good with. Aggression just kills the guys outright, you know, is sniping people left, right, and center. But Captain America is just a beast. It's like I can take a hit and then I can bash you and stun you. Captain America is just such a solid hero. The two of them together was like gorgeous synergy. It just works so well. But they're my two heroes I've probably done best with throughout the entire saga. Doctor Strange is pretty good, but then he's already powerful anyway. I don't think I've even tried Quicksilver and WandaVision yet. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch yet. I just haven't had the time, but I've got the decks. I don't know if they're powerful, really, but I do need to try them. I need to get some more Marvel Champion games played, to be honest. I've fallen behind. Let's see. I need to watch the Blitz review. That would be cool if you can, but obviously no rush. Have you played Board Royale? Never heard of it. Board Royale. Let's have a look. And as I say, this is going to be the last question of the night, chaps. Board Royale. Let's have a look. Let's bring it up on the screen. Board Royale. Is this what it is? Board Royale, the island? 2020. You and your friends are stranded on an island. Last man standing wins. Is this meant to be like kill the other players? Who did this one? Arvis Games. Never heard of you. Rank 6,700. I'm not exactly getting high hopes here, but it's colourful. The theme could be fun. It's not a bad look. Yeah, I don't know. The map could look a bit better. That looks a little muted, but I mean the cards on there. The theme could be cool. Is this just basically a glorified take that game? Abilities, different costs. I mean, maybe the theme puts some people off, and oh blimey, it's got this puts me off though. Lots of little mini expansion packs, and you're kind of like, why aren't they in the base game? Was this a Kickstarter? Was this a Kickstarter where like they tried to beef up the stretch goals like crazy? Because this worries me when they've come up with all these little mini expansions. It's not like the game's been out that long. Is that how big it is? Wow, that's a small box. That can't be it, surely. I mean, is that board... That board is a board, right? Please tell me that's a board and not a paper mat. No, that looks like a board. Doesn't look like a very big box, though. I guess it just folds up really nicely. I don't know. I mean, I've never heard of it, so I'm guessing you're saying it's fine. You're saying it's a Kickstarter. You've got some fans here, though. I mean, I don't think it's a brilliant game. I have no idea. It could be... I like the fact you've put Finn there. That's quite funny. I must admit, I like using that Finn with the music in my videos. That's been quite fun. But yeah, no more questions, but let's see what people have said. Looking forward to the Dune movie. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I know nothing about Dune, but people have told me not to watch the old movie or the old series because both have got flaws, so I'm going to wait for the new movie. I promise I'll watch it, but that's going to be my intro to Dune. If that movie doesn't win me over, then tough. You know, I'll still play Dune Imperium. It's still on my shelf, but I just won't care about the theme. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, the Finn does work there. Let's see. I'll bring it to DICE when I get it. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, bring it along to Club Night and we'll give it a shot. I mean, like I say, it's not exactly winning me over from the look of it so far, but 30 to 60 minutes, you know, what an hour out of my life for a fun theme card game? I'll give it a try. Maybe it's ranked low just because it's so recent and it hasn't had, you know, wide appeal yet. And it's low weight. So, yeah, I mean, I'll give it a try. I'd be up for some Marvel on TTS. I gotta admit, I've not played Marvel Champions on Tabletop Simulator. I've got the mod, but I've not played it on there. Same with Arkham. I don't know how they're supposed to work on Tabletop Simulator. I mean, how do you do the decks? You've got to create the decks, surely. Do you have to do this mammoth procedure thing beforehand, or can you make it on marveldb.com and somehow import it into TTS? I don't know the tech side of it, but that could be a way to play it. And we'll see. But as I know, you can get in touch with me about that one. So, yeah, just before the 2-hour mark, I think that's a pretty good time to start thinking about wrapping things up. Oh, we'll see. All the tables are pre-set up and can import. Okay, fair enough. I'll have to look. I swear I've downloaded the mod. I just haven't looked at it yet. And the mini expansions all came with the base game. All right, good, fine. I'll give it some benefit of the doubt then on that one. I mean, why not just mix them up? Why they got to be little expansions? But I mean, the thing is, they all came with the game because it was a Kickstarter. Will it do that on retail? That's a different story. But that seems like it. All right. Whew. As I say, if you like this, leave a like on the video. Check out the Patreon event already. But yeah, this is another good fun stream, guys and girls. You know, definitely had fun with this one. Decent enough turnout. Lots of different people, lots of different channels, and lots of questions there. I mean, the Patreons went above and beyond the Call of Duty to give me like 15 questions to talk about at the start. That was a lot. But yeah, definitely go check out Love, Death and Robots. I think I will as well. Let's see, it's 8 o'clock now. Should I do it? Well, first of all, I'm going to check out those anime songs. What was it? Washok Ya. And I'll scroll through the chat when I have a look. But it was something like Metal Monster or something. I can't remember. Metal whatever. I'll check those out. I don't think there was anything else I needed to watch specifically. Oh, yeah. I want to watch Roy Canaday's reviews on those two Marvel Champion things. And then, yeah. And then I'll check out Love, Death and Robots shortly afterwards or something, because at least I don't have to do timestamps for a Q&A. That's one good thing about this. I don't have to timestamp it, which is great. So yeah, thank you everybody for turning up to the chat. It's been great as always. You know, there'll be another one in Detroit Metal City. All right, thanks for the reminder. Satsuga. All right, I'll check it out. I'll have a look. But they say thanks for turning up. Great as always. There'll be another one in June as before. First up, before I wrap this up, actually, the last 3 minutes before we get to the 2-hour thing, what's coming up? Channel updates. As I mentioned, I've got to edit the Jagged Earth Beyond the Base Game review. That'll be the last time I do a separate video for an expansion, because I already did Branch and Claw before I did that stream about the feedback, so it's an exception. But yes, Jagged Earth has got a video ready to edit. I will record top 10 essential expansions tomorrow, so that at some point this week before next Saturday. I promise before next Saturday I will release it. So some point in the next few days, you're going to get the first solo top 10 list I've done in ages. And then there'll be more after that, because I really do need to get those top 10 lists back on the schedules. Review-wise, I haven't got any games lined up for review since I did that Blitz one, but people are probably going to know what my thoughts are on Destinies, and I am getting, you know, so I will do a review on Destinies when I get a chance to play it. And I did say that I will do Empires of the North Beyond the Base Game when I've played all the solo expansions, and that will include Egyptian Kings. And technically I do need to do, well, I don't know how I'm going to get time to play it and do a review soon. It's probably going to be a while, but Portal also sent me Vienna Connection, or whatever their new one is, the new detective game. And I don't know if I'm going to be playing this solo or if Ricky from Dice Portsmouth wants us to get a group together and play it, because they're big fans of detective as well. So I don't want to jump into this as a solo game just yet, in case Ricky wants us to play it as a group. So it might be a long time before I can review this one, but I do have that one, and maybe I'll do a review after I'm playing it, but maybe you'll just have to get my first impressions as and when. What was it? Yuwa Shock. Yep, by all means, yeah, tell me, you know, remind me for that. Other than that, though, live stream collaborations. Yes, I do have. Next week, Lighten Up Initiative and I, Spencer, we're doing top 5 disappointing games, and the format of those is now going to be top 5. I will get them to introduce themselves and their channel a lot more than I have in the past. I've had some feedback on that, saying that as much as we have good casual chats with the guests, I have forgotten that not everybody knows who's on the guest. They really do need to introduce them more, so we'll do that. So we'll start off with that. But yeah, top 5 disappointing games, and we'll do we'll get the live chat to suggest some. We'll do honorable mentions. But yeah, that should be fun. Talking about games we dislike, that'll be fun. And then I've got, after that, Board Game Perspective is coming back the week after for top 5 games that were hyped to play. That should be good or something. I can't remember what the title is, but it's something along those lines. Like games we expect to like that were hyped to play or something. So that should be fun. there's always a link to the channel in their notes. The description always has a YouTube link to their channel, but in the actual video, in the actual stream, I need to actually get them to talk about themselves a bit more to start with. And speaking of which, hello to One Bit Wonder, who's literally joining in as I'm about to sign this off. But don't worry, you can watch this at your leisure. And I know people have asked us to do another thing together. At some point when I've had a chance to play the other Jagged Earth Spirits in Spirit Island, we need to do a top 5 spirits list. People have requested this from Spirit Island fans. So doesn't matter if you haven't played every single spirit, because frankly I don't think I will have either. And some of them I've only played once. But yeah, we need to do some kind of a top 5 spirit list at some point. But yeah, other collaborations, I haven't got anything played. I haven't got anything planned after Board Game Perspective, but people are... Well, I've already I asked Board Gaming Ramblings, and Sunniva was in earlier, so hopefully she's more aware that she needs to get back into me on that one. But I've also asked again Ryan and Bethany. We haven't got a date set, but Ryan and Bethany are going to come on for another list. Was there anybody else I've asked other than the others? I've asked, but nothing's been set. But I am obviously going to try and get other creators, when obviously I don't mind having repeat viewings. So yes, as we said, yeah, some Spirit Island fans have asked, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of attention from Spirit Island fans to say, "Ooh, your top 5 spirits each," especially from someone like you who's played it for longer and enjoyed it for longer, and someone like me who is like hyped about it and a bit of a noob. So it should be interesting, because I'm sure our list will be different from the usual. But yeah, obviously I need to get more collaborations in the works, especially as they're shorter. So anyway, as I say, I need to wrap this up. I need to get going. It's been 2 hours, so by all means, if you know, thank you, Jonah. Looking forward to seeing everyone back on your channel. Don't worry, you'll be one as well. But yeah, things are on the up. You know, the new car, the new incoming car, lockdowns easing next week. You know, game conventions planned. The blog now going down a similar path to what it was before, but you know, culling the dead wood and condensing the stuff and just giving me a bit more of a determination to take the channel in this direction. So it should be pretty cool. Yeah, you know, things are on the mend. Even though work sucks a bit, everything else is kind of doing all right. Apart from the lack of a gaming girlfriend. that was earlier in the stream. I'll try to work on that, but we'll see. Anyway, take care, everybody. I'll see you soon. Love you all. Remember, it's only a game. Leave a like on the video. Share it if you can. And as I say, I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.